You are listening to Shadow's Truth Volume 2. The Shadow challenges each and every one of you to educate yourselves with respect to history. It is so very important that you all understand the historical significance of what is being said here. Faith is the great cop-out, the great excuse to evade the need to think and evaluate evidence. Faith is belief in spite of, even perhaps because of, the lack of evidence. We are all atheists about most of the gods that societies have ever believed in. Some of us just go one god further. I am against religion because it teaches us to be satisfied with not understanding the world. One of the things that is wrong with religion is that it teaches us to be satisfied with answers, which are not really answers at all. A delusion is something that people believe in despite a total lack of evidence. There may be fairies at the bottom of the garden. There is no evidence for it, but you can't prove that there aren't any, so shouldn't we be agnostic with respect to fairies? Religion is about turning untested belief into unshakable truth through the power of institutions and the passage of time. Isn't it sad to go to your grave without ever wondering why you were born? Who, with such a thought, would not spring from bed, eager to resume discovering the world and rejoicing to be part of it? The mantra for blind faith secures its own perpetuation by the simple unconscious expedient of discouraging rational inquiry. The chances of each of us coming into existence are infinitesimally small, and even though we shall all die someday, we should count ourselves fantastically lucky to get our decades in the sun. The essence of life is statistical improbability on a colossal scale. If children understand that beliefs should be substantiated with evidence, as opposed to tradition, authority, revelation or faith, they will automatically work out for themselves that they are atheists. Today the theory of evolution is about as much open to doubt as the theory that the earth goes round the sun. It has become almost a cliché to remark that nobody boasts of ignorance of literature, but it is socially acceptable to boast ignorance of science and proudly claim incompetence in mathematics. Nothing is wrong with peace and love. It is all the more regrettable that so many of Christ's followers seem to disagree. Religious fanatics want people to switch off their own minds, ignore the evidence, and blindly follow a holy book based upon private revelation. Many of us saw religion as harmless nonsense. Beliefs might lack all supporting evidence, but, we thought, if people needed a crutch for consolation, where's the harm? September 11th changed all that. A universe with a God would look quite different from a universe without one. A physics, a biology where there is a God is bound to look different. So the most basic claims of religion are scientific. Religion is a scientific theory. The Bible should be taught, but emphatically not as reality. It is fiction, myth, poetry, anything but reality. As such, it needs to be taught, because it underlies so much of our literature and our culture. Personally, I rather look forward to a computer program winning the World Chess Championship. Humanity needs a lesson in humility. The Enlightenment is under threat. So is reason. So is truth. So is science, especially in the schools of America. We humans are an extremely important manifestation of the replication bomb, because it is through us, through our brains, our symbolic culture and our technology, that the explosion may proceed to the next stage and reverberate through deep space. The God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all fiction, jealous and proud of it, a petty, unjust, unforgiving control freak, a vindictive, bloodthirsty ethnic cleanser, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, infanticidal, genocidal, filicidal, pestilential, megalomaniacal, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully. There is something infantile in the presumption that somebody else has a responsibility to give your life meaning and point. The truly adult view, by contrast, is that our life is as meaningful, as full and as wonderful as we choose to make it. We are going to die, and that makes us the lucky ones. Most people are never going to die, because they are never going to be born. the potential people who could have been here in my place, but who will in fact never see the light of day outnumber the sand grains of Arabia. Certainly those unborn ghosts include greater poets than Keats, scientists greater than Newton. We know this because the set of possible people allowed by our DNA so massively exceeds the set of actual people. In the teeth of these stupefying odds, it is you and I, in our ordinariness, that are here. We privileged few, who won the lottery of birth against all odds, how dare we whine at our inevitable return to that prior state, from which the vast majority have never stirred? There is no such thing as a Christian child, only a child of Christian parents. Be thankful that you have a life, and forsake your vain and presumptuous desire for a second one. Let children learn about different faiths, let them notice their incompatibility, and let them draw their own conclusions about the consequences of that incompatibility. As for whether they are valid, let them make up their own minds, when they are old enough to do so. When two opposite points of view are expressed with equal intensity, the truth does not necessarily lie exactly halfway between them. It is possible for one side to be simply wrong. To be fair, much of the Bible is not systematically evil but just plain weird, as you would expect of a chaotically cobbled together anthology of disjointed documents, composed, revised, translated, distorted and improved by hundreds of anonymous authors, editors and copyists, unknown to us and mostly unknown to each other, spanning 9 centuries. Do you really mean to tell me the only reason you try to be good is to gain God's approval and reward, or to avoid His disapproval and punishment? That's not morality, that's just sucking up, apple polishing, looking over your shoulder at the great surveillance camera in the sky, or the still small wiretap inside your head, monitoring your every move, even your every base though. Bush and Bin Laden are really on the same side, the side of faith and violence against the side of reason and discussion. Both have implacable faith that they are right and the other is evil. Each believes that when he dies he is going to heaven. Each believes that if he could kill the other, his path to paradise in the next world would be even swifter. The delusional next world is welcome to both of them. This world would be a much better place without either of them. The total amount of suffering per year in the natural world is beyond all decent contemplation. During the minute that it takes me to compose this sentence, thousands of animals are being eaten alive, many others are running for their lives, whimpering with fear, others are slowly being devoured from within by rasping parasites, thousands of all kinds are dying of starvation, thirst, and disease. It must be so. If there never is a time of plenty, this very fact will automatically lead to an increase in the population until the natural state of starvation and misery is restored. In a universe of electrons and selfish genes, blind physical forces and genetic replication, some people are going to get hurt, other people are going to get lucky, and you won't find any rhyme or reason in it, nor any justice. The universe that we observe has precisely the properties we should expect if there is, at bottom, no design, no purpose, no evil, no good, nothing but pitiless indifference. Shadow thanks you for listening. There will be 10 volumes of Shadow's Truth. Please watch and distribute them freely.